Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to... Oh, hey, that's embarrassing. Hello everybody and welcome. I say everybody like I haven't been missing for about 9 years now, but welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be re-entering the world of Littlest Pet Shops. I personally have never been on this side of the camera before, so please excuse my awkwardness while I take this little bit of a learning curve. But I, in general, am really excited to be taking back my channel. So today I thought I'd start off with something pretty simple, pretty easy to get back into it all, and I'm going to be unboxing 2 new Generation 7 LPS sets. Since the new generation of LPS has come out, I have found it really difficult to find any of these pets. The only major toy store near me now in the UK is Smith's, and it can be pretty sporadic with its stock. It has taken me so long to find these. I was lucky enough to find this set here on Vinted for £5, which I think is a bit of a win. And then my lovely boyfriend actually sourced this set for me from Smith's. It's so hard to find. So today I'm going to be unboxing these sets and giving them my very honest opinion. Made a lot of changes, I think, with the new generation of LPS, which was to be expected. I wasn't going to go into this and be like, oh no, it's going to be exactly like it was when I was 12 years old. Whilst I was preparing for this video, it dawned upon me that these sets have actually been out for over a year now, so I am a little bit behind in regards to that. But you know what? As an unemployed 24-year-old who's living with her parents, I am allowed this bit of whimsy, okay? Let me have this. Without further ado, let's let these babies out of their prison. So I'm going to be starting off with the Grooming Spa Play Pack. Upon first glance, super cute, you know, I absolutely adore this set. I think it's really sweet. First kind of like qualm I have with this set is definitely going to be the art on the back. I don't really think that the pictures kind of accurately portray the pets themselves. The airbrushing feels really messy. So where you can see kind of like on the ears of the short-haired cat, there's like a really lovely powdery pink, you know, kind of hue. And then we look at the pet. Yeah, it's not great. The dachshund as well. On the back, she's got a really lovely gradient, lovely little soft nose and all of that. But then when I actually look at the pet, she's pretty messy. She has more of like a spray. The thing that I can say I'm super excited about with this set though is actually the Pomeranian. I didn't think I would be very obsessed with this pet, but she's actually really sweet. She's quite cute. Ginger, like her mama. But yeah, no, let's go ahead and crack these guys open. I have no idea how I'm gonna film this. Nice. Oh my god, this gives me so much like nostalgia, like childlike joy. And they have all like the little ties on them. I know that when I was younger they had the little plastic ties, and then I would always get it stuck around their necks when I got a new one. So I have a couple pets now that still have like the rubber band from when I unboxed them all like tangled up in their neck bits. But I think they use paper now on these ones, so let's go ahead and have a look. We've got a classic little pamphlet. I freaking love these. Literally again, so nostalgic. I love. We also have one of the cards for the Pomeranian. It does also come with a little backdrop that actually opens up, which is quite sweet. You know, even if they don't have the art on the outside of the boxes anymore. Okay, so like I was saying a second ago, it's really classic with like the little paper tags that we have to cut out back here. We're delving into the accessories first. It comes with this wee hairdryer. I'm pretty sure they had models similar to this hairdryer before in the past. I don't actually remember if I owned one or not as a kid, but it is quite cute. Following that sort of pink theme, they also have this wee shampoo bottle. Really cute actually. I'm surprised on the details around the nozzle and everything, but it also gives me like a kind of like a Barbie-esque vibe. Up next we have this little toothbrush, also very sweet. I don't think I've seen this sort of design on any of the accessories before, and I absolutely love it. I think it's really cute. I think in the past I always just used like Sylvanian Families or Calico Critters accessories for toothbrushes and things like that. But this was really cute. Then we also have a little purple hairbrush. This is actually following one of the old molds from you know, a million years ago. So I actually kind of appreciate that they bring this back. However, I did notice it's super bendy. The plastic doesn't feel like great quality. But you know, I think that's definitely something that we're going to notice amongst these pets and these new Basic Fun toys a little bit more than maybe the old LPS that we knew. So I'm going to keep my judgment down for now. I think there's going to be plenty of other things to judge very, very soon. For example, oh my god, specimen and a half. So I see that they have tried to kind of go after the old LPS duck with this mold. However, I do not think it translated very well. Only is the paint pretty wonky on this poor little fellow, but the shape itself is definitely a bit more lackluster. It doesn't seem like as detailed or like I remember it, perhaps, but you know what? He's something, that's for sure. Okay. So next we're going to open up this thing. Yeah, I'm gonna scissor it. Now we have this bathtub, which is so cute. I feel like most of my problems with the new sets and like the new Basic Fun LPS is that they probably could have put a tiny bit more detail into some of the accessories. You know, like even including little silver feet that match the head of the shower and things like that. Probably would have made the product look a little bit nicer, but also I'm not in a place to be super picky because at the end of the day I'm just really happy that my favourite toys are back and that I get to enjoy them again. So now we are moving on to the pets themselves. Sorry, that was a little bit dramatic. Okay, so the first on my list is going to be this Pomeranian. Like I said, I was actually kind of surprised by how much I liked this pet. Her head is very skinny. I love the little hearts in her ears. I think that's the cutest little detail ever. But you know, overall, very cute. So next up, I'm actually going to look at the Dachshund. I heard a lot of things about this pet. So obviously the mold is slightly different. I do think it's a little bit disappointing to see that they didn't do a lot of work to hide up the neck peg. Her head is pretty high above the actual body, so that leaves a lot of space in between the head and the body. Literally exactly what I just said. Yeah. Something else that people were saying about the Dachshund molds is that they don't have as much of like a head lump, you know, that beautiful, beautiful divot. That's where the brain goes. Looking at them, I don't know. I think they're pretty similar, I can't lie. I think one of the biggest giveaways is definitely going to be the neck region. I think the toes are different. I think the toes on the new one are definitely have like a little bit more of an indent, which I don't think is a bad thing. Yeah. Overall, I think my main issue with the Dachshund itself is definitely going to be the paint job. I know that I've already talked about this really briefly and it's definitely something that I will bring up quite frequently, but it definitely is apparent. You know, it doesn't feel like there's as much love put into these pets as maybe one of the older generation ones, but again, what's to be expected. Some people kind of talked about the difference in the plastic colour from the head and the body of the Dachshund in other review videos. This is actually luckily something that I haven't really noticed with my pet herself. Because the eyes are printed, you can kind of see all of the little speckles, the little dots. I think I'm running out of breath. I literally forgot how hard YouTube is. So next up we have the short hair. Honestly, I'm pretty disappointed. I really love the short hair mold in the past, as did most people. It's one of the most popular molds, but I just kind of found that it looks like a fake, a replica, like this isn't screaming Little Pet Shop. And I'll tell you exactly why, okay? Before you think I'm being judgmental, which I kind of am. It just, it doesn't scratch the itch. For example, the short hair that I was using in the intro very briefly, one of my favourites, I think she's beautiful. If we compare them side to side, there are about a million differences between these pets. Starting off with the height, which is really weird. That obviously comes down to the neck peg issue. This short hair has the same exact issue as the dachshund. There is no kind of gap up where the neck piece should be. So it just goes straight from head to body, and that just feels a bit lazy, to be honest. I think among this, the face shape of the short hairs are actually completely different as well. The cheeks are a lot higher up, and that's, I think, one of the reasons why it kind of makes me think of a fake LPS a bit more. That's something I definitely noticed with like the replicas and everything. They always had that kind of like smooth face. Freaking Ozempic LPS short hair. At the end of the day, it's not a massive deal. We don't have a lot of the splattering like we did with the dachshund. But I'm struggling a tiny bit. The duck. I don't know where the duck went. Actually a little bit scared of the duck, but the duck. Okay, well, duck is gone forever. He's plotting something nefarious somewhere else, and you know what? It's not my business. It's not my business. Okay, next. Who's ready for more paint rants? We are going to move on to the Disco Night Play pack, which came pretty well known in the LPS community when it came back because of one specific reason. The concept of an LPS trip. I think that's absolutely hilarious. Absolutely has been done somewhere on YouTube, like let's be so for real. People did some interesting things. Oh man, that nostalgia freaking hits like a truck. Okay, same sort of deal. There is a little kind of surprise there aren't cards for all of them, but also I'm not super familiar with the little Pet Shop Play /.com situation. What are you doing? So next we have the Disco Play pack, and I really like the accessories in this one. Release them! That was horrible. This one right here gives me boatloads of nostalgia. I had a couple of these. I think I had a little like teal blue one and a purple one. Very cute. I also had one of these LPS chains in a different colour and a pair of the sunglasses. So it's really fun seeing them kind of bring back a lot of these old accessories that we used before. Lemonade bowl, I don't think I owned before, but I do absolutely love it. I saw it in a lot of YouTube videos in the past, so 100% props. I love it. Okay, so now we have to release this bowl. I mean, you know, the casual party stand and disco ball holder. Ew, is that a fingerprint? There's like a paint stain. Fingerprint. I don't know if it'll focus. That's kind of gross. Good thing I did a forensic science master's. Super cute. Spins around, I think. Yeah, it spins around. It jiggles slightly into it. It literally just looks like a club. Like, obviously I know that's the kind of the theme of the set. It's like disco night. But now I am going to move on to the pets. Hopefully I won't struggle as much with getting these ones out as I did with the last set, because that was a little bit embarrassing. Okay, I'm gonna start off with the peacock because her little shimmer is like drawing me in. Yeah, that's good. I think her little hairpiece and tail, or wings even, also has a little bit of shimmer as well, which I think is really cute. I think one of my biggest issues, I say for the millionth time, with the new generation of LPS is going to be the colour patterns as well. They are just freaking ridiculous sometimes, like actually so insane. you know, I think that past LPS, like with Hasbro and everything, they had, you know, bright, colourful pets that worked. I had this hippo that had like colourful flowers all over it. She was blue, she had clouds on her. Gorgeous, love her. But I think the issue with the new pets now is that they're just so vibrant and so bright, but they don't have any sort of like cohesion with their pattern. These slumber party packs, I think it is, with the short hair. So like the yellow, bright yellow short hair with purple eyes. That could have been done well. Like that seriously could have been so cute, but I just like, I don't know, it just grates on me a little bit. Like, I know they're for children and I'm 24 years old, but that's not the point. Another one I really dislike, sorry, I'm going on a tangent here. Another one I really dislike is actually the Pet Pears Cocker Spaniel. Like, I think there was definitely an option to make that really cute, but it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know, they just look fake. They look fake. It's like that first like wave ever of fake LPS when I was a kid. Like the very first fake LPS that were just like the most tragic things that you've ever seen in your entire life. That's what it makes me think of. It makes me sad. Anyway, the head is so squishy. Like bath toy squishy. And also it's a height difference thing, except this time it goes in the other direction. This neck peg is like all the way down. There's only a few differences on the molds. I would say is definitely the wings. The wings are a lot bigger on the new version of the little peacock, but I think she's so cute. I think this one in other places actually has the, you know, like the crunchy glitter. What's it called? Crunchy, thick glitter, but I don't actually know which countries that's in. So same with Miss Bunny here. I haven't actually seen this mold combination before. I'm not sure if it actually exists in old Little Pet Shop because I have it here compared next to one of the older generation standing bunnies, and she has those little cheeky closed eyelids. She's up to no good. She, like the little peacock, has some of those signs of metallic paint on her little fringe and around her eye and her tail, which I think is so cute. So she is an example of bright colours done well. You know, I know Basic Fun, you can do it. You can make bright colours good. Please. And then the final pet that I'm going to be reviewing today is one of the most kind of sought out ones of this newer generation. It is the Great Dane. He's cute. I can appreciate that. But it's just not the same. It's not the same. Guys, I swear I'm grateful. I swear I'm grateful. Trust me, I was one of those kids who was calling up Hasbro when they first said that they weren't going to make them anymore, or they were making those real jank ones that had the skinny little legs and they were awful and people tore them apart, and we rioted for this, and you know what, we got here. So do not take my complaining as a lack of gratitude. I actually don't have the LPS that was modelled off of this pet because obviously there was a older generation LPS that had the star eyes, he had the patch. He was very similar to this LPS here. So I don't have that pet in particular. I do have this lovely gentleman here. He is one of my all-time favourites. I've had him for a very long time and he holds a very special place in my heart. But he's pretty similar to this mold, to 170 or this guy. The body is actually a tiny bit bulkier. You know, he's got a little bit more oomph to him, which I definitely don't mind. He actually has a lot better of a job with the neck peg. It goes in a lot further, so we don't have that kind of gap, that awkward gap that we had with the short hair and the dachshund. So love that. But the head shape is slightly different. Feels a little bit bigger. The eyes I actually think are a tiny bit bigger as well. I don't know if that's just because of the paint, but I do think that they're a little bit different. With this one in particular, I think the paint matching is pretty bad. I don't know if that they did that, I don't know if they did that intentionally or if it's kind of like a stylistic choice to have the lighter eye patch versus the rest of the paint. But it is something that kind of bothers me with a lot of the Generation 7 pets as well. I feel like there's just so much going on. You know, like sometimes it's just kind of intense. Like you've got 17 different kinds of patterns and it's just like, you know. But I don't know, they did a good job. It's just, again with the, I'm sorry I talk about the paint so much, but with the paint specifically, I feel like you can see where it's so obviously printed on, and I think that just takes away from the charm. It looks like static, and I think that really takes away from the pet as a whole. The eyes are really clear for that, and then also with this pet specifically, the patch around the eye. I would actually consider taking the patch off of this pet in particular, because I think he might be cuter without it, but I also don't want to ruin him. So final verdict. I understand that this video contained a lot of complaining. I don't want to come off as ungrateful or, you know, kind of hating the new pets, because I really don't. I really do not. I think that we're really lucky to be having these molds and this sort of like nostalgic style of LPS back, and it's to be expected that it's going to be different, you know? There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's just tricky, you know, knowing what we loved so much and then having that collection and being so passionate about it and being so excited to see it come back, and then you just get a little bit disappointed sometimes. So end of the day, let's end on a positive note. I think I'm really grateful to even be able to be collecting LPS again and to be able to have this experience now. So thank you, Basic Fun. Thank you for listening to the people. I think all the pets are really cute, and they're just a little bit different in their own way, and there's nothing wrong with that. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you didn't mind my ranting too much. Stay tuned, and hopefully I'll be back a lot sooner than I was last time. Oh, goodbye. Bye now.